Hi, it's Sasha. Today I'm going to be giving you my first impressions of Glossier. Glossier is a makeup and skincare brand that is a little bit harder to find because it isn't sold through places like Sephora and Ulta. They're primarily sold through a couple retail stores in LA and New York, but they recently had a pop-up that I was able to attend over the holidays. I'm really excited to try it out today, and I've saved everything for this video so you're getting my real first impressions. First, I'm going to start with a priming moisturizer. This is a pretty popular item from them, and basically it's a primer and moisturizer in one. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my hand here. My face is clean, but I haven't put on any other moisturizer. I would call it sort of a lightweight cream formula. It's not really a gel, it's not really a heavyweight cream. It's got a bit of a silky feel to it, but it doesn't feel like one of those heavy silicone-based primers. It seems to be absorbing pretty well. It feels more like a moisturizer than like one of the grippy primers. When I was at the pop-up, it was really fun to try out the different foundations and concealers that Glossier offered. I liked the formulas, but unfortunately they use a lot of silicones in them, and that's something that I tend to react to. So I didn't buy those today, but I tried to find one that was pretty close to the same formula. Today I'm going to be using Kaja's Don't Settle concealer. I like to use this just as sort of a spot concealer. Today I'm trying to sort of stick to the Glossier aesthetic, which tends to be very natural and light. I noticed in a lot of their pictures they have models with their freckles showing through and other things that just give a very natural and fresh feel. Now I'm going to go in with my favorite under eye concealer. This is the Glow Skin and Beauty under eye concealer in beige. I like to just take this peach side and color correct my under eyes. I have a whole video on this that I'll link down below, but basically I just pat it in with my ring finger and then cover it with translucent powder. So now I'm going to set the under eye concealer with Lawless Seal the Deal powder. I just take a fluffy eyeshadow brush, tap off the excess, and pat it over the under eye area. Moving back onto Glossier, now I'm going to try one of their most famous products. This is the Glossier Boy Brow. Today I'm going to test it out in the shade Blond. So I don't have any other products in my brows. I'm just going to brush this through and see how it looks. I read online that they actually sell one of these Boy Brow products every 32 seconds, which is completely ridiculous. People on YouTube really seem to rave about them, so I really wanted to try it out and see if it was worth the hype. There are a couple girls behind me in line who were like, $16 for a brow gel is so expensive. They really didn't seem to be familiar with it or how popular it was. I agree that $16 is kind of a lot for a brow gel. It's not as much as something like Hourglass or some of those Sephora brands. I did try one by NYX that I think was around $4.99, and it was like totally crunchy and not worth it. Looking at this now, it does seem to be a pretty good match. It's a little bit darker blonde than some of the other blondes I've tried. It doesn't seem to feel too crunchy, and it does seem to have a bit of hold, which is nice. I also got the clear one that I'm looking forward to playing around with. I'm going to try layering that maybe with some brow pencils and see if it makes a difference. Moving on to blush, I got the Cloud Paint in Puff. This is a really pretty pink shade. The formula seems to be really highly pigmented, so I think I'll only use a tiny bit to start. Just going to put a little bit on my hand and dab it on my cheeks. Seems pretty bright. It's almost like a neon pink. Seems like it blends out to more of a cotton candy pink. I love cream blushes like this because you can wear them just on their own or over your foundation. They're really pretty versatile and they tend to work really well and look really natural. Next I have the Haloscope highlighter in Quartz. It's sort of a beigey champagne shade. This one is kind of an interesting formula because it has sort of a moisturizing layer in the middle that's more like a balm, and then it has the color on the outside. I'm going to just rub some on my finger and then dab it along the high points of my cheekbone. Honestly, this isn't really showing up a lot for me. I can't tell if it's the lighting or just if I'm not using enough. I'm going to try drawing it on a little bit to see if it shows up better that way. That definitely seems to make more of a difference. I wouldn't call this a blinding highlight. I think it's still pretty soft, but it's definitely in alignment with sort of the fresh Glossier aesthetic. I did look at a lot of the Glossier eyeshadows. They don't have a traditional powder eyeshadow at this time, but most of theirs were these really glittery liquid eyeshadows. I really don't like super glittery products, so I decided not to get those. But I did pick up their Colorslide eyeliner in Brack, which is a deep brown. So if you're ever in a pinch, you can use eyeliner as a little bit of eyeshadow. So I'm going to use it a little bit in my crease here just to give a little bit of definition. This might work better with some of their other colors if you want a little more dimension, but I just kind of wanted to get a hint of how it smudges out. And it seems to be smudging out pretty well, which is great if you want to do sort of a smoky eye or just do an eye look with a pencil. Now I'm going to line the top of the lash line. Even though Glossier has sort of a natural aesthetic, they started a new line called Play, which actually has quite a few bright colors. So if you like something like this eyeliner, you can actually get it in really bright colors like teal and gold and thinks that'll really make your eyes pop. It's kind of a creamy gel formula where it doesn't feel like it's gonna budge, but you can work with it some, which is great. Moving on to mascara, this is the Lash Slick Mascara. It seems to have one of those sort of silicone brushes. There are a lot of little tiny plastic bits on it. It seems to be a very flexible brush. This is not a super volumizing formula. It's giving more of a natural finish. So now that the mascara is on, I can kind of see it's more of a lengthening and defining formula. I like how the brush was really flexible and it definitely allowed me to have more control. However, I tend to prefer thicker brushes that prioritize volumizing more. This does seem like a good mascara, especially if you like more of a natural finish, but I don't think it's gonna be an everyday favorite for me. Another product I was really excited about from Glossier is this blade, which is a pencil sharpener. It goes with their Colorslide eyeliner pencils, but basically it just looks like a really nice pencil sharpener that will help keep things tidy and it won't create a mess like a lot of the other ones. I wasn't wild about the ingredients in their lip products, so I didn't pick up any of those, but some people recommended trying the Cloud Paint as a lip gloss, so I'm gonna go ahead and use a little more of that. This is Puff, the same color I used on my cheeks. It's a nice sort of soft cotton candy pink, and I like that adds a bit of color to my face. That's it for today's video. I'd love to hear if you have any favorite Glossier products or things that you'd recommend. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.